Spain are on to the World Cup semifinal after a 2-1 victory against Belgium this afternoon. Mikel Merino saves the day again. A lot to get to here, so let's get after it. Welcome into World Cup Review, World Cup Recap here on the Nick Bird Sports Network. We come to you after our second game of the quarterfinals sees Spain, the second-ranked team in the FIFA rankings, go through to the semifinal where they will face France on Tuesday after a 2-1 victory over Belgium. Now, this was quite an interesting game tactically to watch how it played out, because I came into this game thinking Belgium were kind of going to get their doors blown off. I thought this was going to be a struggle for Belgium. Yet, I mean, Portugal have, Spain struggled against Portugal, even though they hadn't conceded a goal yet this tournament. It was just a question of how they are actually going to perform here. And it kind of looked a little bit like that Portugal game again. Belgium were playing a park the bus-ish style, that kind of struggled to get anything going. They did make lineup changes today. You did see, Kevin De Bruyne back in the lineup. You saw Jérémy Doku back in the lineup. Leandro Trossard got another start today. Should he have? I don't know. Charles De Ketelaere does get a start today. We'll obviously get to his contribution in the game in a little bit here. This was just a interesting game throughout, because it really never felt like, Spain had points in this game where they were in the lead. It never truly felt like they were in full control. While yes, they kind of dominated this game possession-wise, shot-wise, touch-wise. They dominated all the stats, but it never felt like they fully had control, which was definitely interesting to say the least, because Belgium's true one big attack of the game ended up being a goal. It was an odd game to say the least. First goal came in the 30th minute. Fabián Ruiz, just a brilliant ball into the box. Finds Fabián. He puts it past Courtois, makes it 1-0 to Spain. Half hour into this game. For that goal, that was their sixth first half goal of this tournament. They are second to the United States, who have 8 goals in the first half. This tournament, of course, the United States is out, so we will probably see that be broken. Maybe not. We will have to see. Rodri had a good chance in the 40th minute, where his pass is to Yamal, who beats 2 Belgian players, but then just strikes the near post, and it's play over after that. It was basically right after that. It would be Belgium drawing level in the 41st minute. Charles De Ketelaere finds the back of the net for the second straight game. A beautiful ball in by Timothy Kaskange finds, of course, De Ketelaere in the box. He takes a shot just on top of that 6-yard box, puts it in the back of the net. Spain concedes for the first time this tournament, and this game is 1-1. This also marked the first time that Spain had conceded in the World Cup knockout stage since the 2006 FIFA World Cup when they went out to France. Zinedine Zidane being the last player to score against Spain in the World Cup knockout rounds. That was 7,318 days ago. Just a wild stat. We talked about it a lot. This whole tournament that Spain had 3 World Cup wins since winning the final in 2010. And, now they're just rolling. They don't lose. It's going to be interesting to see if that continues on. So halftime whistle goes 1-1. Obviously, I think Spain disappointed to, be down here, down as they are, level. Because, like I said, it really did feel like, although they controlled all the numbers in this game, they weren't controlling this game. Belgium were very much in this game, locking them down. This is a game where Spain needed their top players to step up in the second half. And while that top player wasn't Yamal, they do get a top player to step up. It would be the 58th minute. Courtois makes another great save on Yamal, who sent in a great ball to the box. Courtois makes sure that is stopped in its tracks. It was the 60th minute, so a half hour left in the game. That's when Lukaku got subbed in. Felt like, okay, we'll see. Then Rodri has a chance in the 70th minute. Gets it to Cucurella. Gives it to Torres, who... It was just a messed up play because it ends up being flagged for offsides. But the bigger thing in that, it would be Courtois would pick up a thigh injury, just given all the attack. He would end up getting subbed off in the 71st minute. So Sene Lemans gets subbed in. You obviously never really want to use one of your subs on your goalkeeper. That is just, again, he couldn't continue, so what do you expect? That was the first time Belgium have ever substituted off a keeper in the World Cup. So, that could be it for Thibaut Courtois, which honestly it probably is. We get to the 88th minute. It would be Mikel Merino, who saved Spain back in the round of 16 to get their 1-0 victory over Portugal. It would be him once again. It would be both Yamal and Nico Williams would take shots, kind of cleared out. Pedri plays a ball to Kubasi, who takes a shot. It ends up, ending up with the save with Lamens, who, spills it straight to Mikel Merino, who's right there. Puts it in the back of the net. It is 2-1 Spain, and that is how this game would end today. Spain advanced to their first World Cup semifinal since the 2010 World Cup, when, of course, they won it. That was also their first World Cup semifinal, so this is their second overall World Cup semifinal. Didn't look great. They haven't looked great the past 2 games, if we're honest, but they keep winning. Yet, their biggest challenge is coming up next with France. We will, of course, dive so much more into that when we preview that game coming up Tuesday morning. But Spain survive and advance, and that's all it's about at this point of the tournament. It's about surviving and advancing. For Belgium, that is the end of the golden generation. I highly doubt we will be seeing Lukaku, De Bruyne, Courtois in 4 years' time in 2030. I would be very shocked by that. Even Tielemans potentially, depending on how things go. You know, it really is a shame Belgium never won anything with this golden generation. It's a shame their talent was wasted on a Roberto Martinez managed squad. But what can I say? The Belgian FA stuck with him for that long. They are deserving of what they got. So Belgium are out. Spain are on to Dallas. And that is going to wrap it up for this episode of World Cup Review, World Cup Recap here on the Nick Bird Sports Network. So thank you so much for watching. If you just stumbled across this video, click like, click subscribe, tell anybody you know about it. We're back tomorrow morning previewing our last two quarterfinal matches, which of course is England against Norway and Argentina against Switzerland. Two massive matches to decide who will be the final two entries in the final four of this 2026 World Cup. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you again soon for another episode here on the Nick Burt Sports Network.